In the confrontation between the two military superpowers, the US, the former Soviet Union, and Russia today, tracking the enemy's strategic submarine fleet has always been the most difficult task. Determining the enemy's submarines operating deep under the sea is an extremely big challenge, because modern reconnaissance measures are almost ineffective in the seabed environment. When combining deep-sea and airborne reconnaissance measures with high density, only the suspected sea area can be isolated, then the area must be focused on investigating to find the exact location of the submarine. However, recently the international media has been revealed a very remarkable piece of information, which is that the US has developed a completely new technology that can overcome previous shortcomings. In fact, the US Anti-Submarine Aviation Force now has a method to accurately determine the location and route of Russian submarines, including the most advanced military submarines. Military experts believe that Russian submarines can be tracked by assessing changes in the electromagnetic field, thereby establishing the exact location of the submarine with an accuracy of up to a meter. The core of the new technology lies in military satellites in orbit that can detect fluctuations in the electromagnetic field and take into account the relatively slow movement of the submarine to track it without any difficulty. The solution may be to build submarines from special steel materials with low or completely non-magnetic properties, along with an outer shell that both reduces noise and eliminates magnetic fields. But the most difficult thing for Russia at present is that it has not yet clearly determined the new US submarine detection mechanism with the support of military satellites. That is why the information just published by the Russian Aviapro website has caused a great surprise to the international media as well as military analysts. The Russian newspaper said that the US Navy suddenly lost the ability to monitor Russian submarines, military satellites as well as space reconnaissance vehicles were all disabled, unable to know where the object was in the ocean. This forced the US Navy to return to the traditional method of using maritime patrol aircraft to search for submarines, but even in this case, the actual results were very low. The reason for this situation is the unique technical capabilities of Russian submarines, especially we are talking about the integration of auxiliary engines, which help reduce noise to a minimum. The main task of Russian nuclear submarines of Project 955A, designation Borealia, is to dive deep and disappear in the vastness of the ocean and maintain the highest possible level of secrecy, said the American magazine The Drive. Particular attention in the American newspaper's assessment was paid to the fact that Russia has designed a pair of auxiliary engines that each such submarine receives. The auxiliary engine not only provides additional power when traveling at low speeds, but also helps reduce the noise generated by a submarine, said Lenta.ru. However, it should be noted that up to now, neither the Department of Defense nor the US Navy has made any official comments on the information just published by the press. Besides, there is an unusual detail, which is that the technology using military satellites to detect submarines is mainly based on abnormal magnetic points, not on sound detection. Therefore, according to some military experts, the auxiliary engines mentioned above only help Russian submarines avoid traditional sonar devices. As for the method of detecting abnormal magnetic fields of US military satellites, it is clear that the auxiliary engines do not have the effect as reported by the press.